But it was kind of sold on the elevator entrance, the freight elevator. People come through that, they get a cocktail out there in the elevator, a welcome cocktail. What they say is they have a guide of how, they have a Bib Gourmand, which is a nice restaurant with 0 stars. I think it has to be like a appetizer, main course, and a cocktail for like under $40 or something like that. I think that a lot of restaurants in the city meet that criteria, and there's a lot of Bib Gourmands out there. Those are personally my favorite places to eat because you don't spend a ton of money and the food's great. I think to kind of get to that 1-star level, I think the service has to be a little more refined. There has to be a little more focus on ingredients. The technique has to be a little bit more refined, and I think that has to cost a little bit more. I think you could probably get a star under $40, but I think I think it's more of a price point thing and a technique and an execution thing. And it kind of just carries on from there. I think once you start getting into this 2-star range, I think the expression of the chef and of all of the cooks and expressing themselves well. I think that's the main thing between a 1 and 2-star. I think obviously the technique could be more refined and things like that. It can kind of just go from there, but I think it's really just an expression of a focus, of like an ideal and a style of cooking. I guess, I don't know. I wish I knew. I think my theory is that it's like it's kind of a social media at first, kind of they read local newspapers to see who's been reviewed and who gets good reviews and who they should check out, word of mouth, and maybe pedigree a little bit. Like I knew that they were going to be in here because we had a Michelin star at Senza. I was like, okay, they're probably going to be in here, seeing if we deserve 1 or 2. Like I have no idea how they make that decision, but I guess that's my best guess. Like we start the menu off usually with raw fish, then we go into lightly cooked fish, and then we go into maybe a vegetable course, and then start getting into the meat, and then to dessert. I have a very specific template that I go by, and it seems to work out. I'm sure they do. And we, there's always like, hey, maybe that person's a Michelin inspector. Maybe this person's a Michelin inspector, but we don't know. I mean, we have no idea. And they're a smart company, and it's if they really want to judge people the way they want to judge people, they would never let them. There's no way that you would ever find out, But it's funny either way, trying to pick them out. Yeah, I think that's all bullshit. I didn't come from that. I just don't think we're just cooking food for people. Like we're maintaining a nice restaurant. Why does that have to be militant? Why can't it be a fun environment? Why can't I think it's just people that just demand this weird kind of respect. That everybody wants respect. Of course I do, but I don't need to be somebody's commander. It doesn't make any sense to me. Rings true in some, maybe not as many as people would think, just based on reality shows and things like that. I think it's blown out of proportion, but there have been times where it's just military style. I've avoided those as best I could. I've never worked in one, but I've been around long enough to know that they're there.
I don't think he's very chefy in the. We have such a different environment than here than pretty much I've never seen another restaurant that has an environment like this, and it's because of Noah.
True to themselves. We don't have really that many guidelines of how you dress or how you interact with customers. We've got suits, we've got chef coats and stuff like that, but we make jokes with people, and we will have shots with people in the kitchen if they want to have shots in the kitchen.